What's going on, guys? Welcome to the latest episode of Can I Kick It FC. This is your host, as always, Elliot Barr. And joining me is a man that, for the second time, I think so far, we have yet to done a Haitian player, but we've done two Jamaican center backs that were captains. It's Mr. Shanir Durant II. How are you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. Don't worry, we got a Haitian player coming up.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
all right.
But let's
That's
talk
all right.
about these Jamaican Premier League winning center backs.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we just did one last week. Saul Campbell. Take a listen if you haven't. Interesting career.
Listen to all our episodes. They're wonderful. Yeah, great.
All of them.
Support everything we do.
Yeah, all of them, but we're kind of on a roll with center backs here, so we'll keep going. So this episode, Wes Morgan, Premier League winning with the most, I would say, unexpected team.
Yeah, pretty much. The most unusual, well, not the most unusual career path, but most not interesting at all. Like, okay, don't get me wrong, I love Wes Morgan, but outside of on the field, you heard nothing of this man publicly. Like, if we thought Sol Campbell was mute, I don't even think Wes Morgan says words.
Yeah, Saul Campbell's mute. Wes Morgan, the TV ain't even on.
Yeah, no. It's pretty much black and white TV where they do all the hand and emotions just to say, like, yes. Like, so, all right. I think the thing that we could do Wes Morgan's career very different because, granted, the biggest highlight is winning the Premier League with the Claudio Ranieri squad and then the FA Cup win this past year are the two things that really stick out of his career. But I think when you look at Wes Morgan as a player, you can look at it from two very different paths. One, you can look at the path of being born in England, having Jamaican parents, and we see so many players choose to play for England. And definitely being Jamaican, like a lot of players then, when they don't get that call from England, they go to their second choice, which is either a country in the West Indies or Africa. It's kind of like the same thing with France, where if you get called up with France, great. If not, all right, let me go check to see what's good with Senegal or Martinique or Cameroon. Where England is like, all right, Ivory Coast or, the West Indies or, another country in Africa. So you can look at his career from that standpoint. And you can also look at it from the standpoint of he was the polar opposite of John Terry, but he was probably just as good as John Terry.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely.
Wes Morgan is
Stop confusing all black people, Shanir. We're not all look alike.
I know. Wes Morgan was, how he was a silent leader. He was one of those captains who didn't say much. You didn't get a lot of yelling and screaming around the pitch from him, because you got yourselves your captains that are yellers.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the captains like Wes Morgan, like Jordan Henderson, that are the lead by example captain. If I put in 100% shift on the field and I'm your captain, you're kind of gonna feel like you have to do the same. And I think that's how Wes Morgan was, especially when he was at Leicester. What's interesting about, again, Wes Morgan, not exactly the same, but similar to other center backs. And like, for example, last week we talked about Saul Campbell. He didn't start out as a center back.
Yeah, no, he didn't. So this is one thing I appreciate a lot about him, because as someone that has Jamaican parents, about us, it's all about school. Like, I don't care what you do. You going to school. And so, like I said, he started his career in Knox County, but before that, um, he signed his fours as an apprenticeship because he was taking classes at South Knox College, and he turned out playing at Knox County because he was like, "Hey, I want to go to college." So he just played semi-pro, but he plays center mid for Dunkirk. And I think this is part of where you could talk about Wes Morgan's like ball skills because the little CDM is kind of like creeping up in there a little bit.
Yep.
But when he went to go be an apprentice at Forest, and the only reason he became an apprentice, not a full term like player, is because of the fact it allowed him to stay in college and graduate. I believe he graduated. I need to go back and check, but I believe he did. But I mean, it allowed him to keep studying regardless. But Dunkirk didn't get a transfer fee. Instead, they got two jerseys. They have his Forest jersey and has his Leicester
jersey. They got two Forest jerseys.
Yeah, which is weird. It's like they're like, I mean, you want some money for him? Nah, but we'll take the two jerseys.
Around that time, I mean, semi-pro clubs, they weren't really cash cows. They weren't really places where you wouldn't go and buy a semi-pro team because you think you were going to be making any money. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a half a step above Sunday League around this time, around like the early 2000s. It's a half a step above Sunday League. Like basically, it's a bunch of guys get together. Yeah, we'll have training. That's the only difference between us and Sunday League. We actually train, basically. So I don't think anyone was really expecting any money in this situation. But yeah, here we go. You get two jerseys.
There's a Sunday leaguer somewhere right now listening to this podcast that's very upset with you, Shanir. Just want to say that they're upset with you.
I mean, but hey, what you gonna do? Got to call a spade a spade.
Oh my god. So pretty much, once he goes to Forest, he goes on loan to Kidderminster Harristers, which, by the way, I love their logo. I think it's like a little crab, and it reminds me of Krabby from Pokemon. So I was like, for like 10 minutes, I was just laughing at it. But there, he makes his professional debut there. He goes on to play 400 games for Nottingham Forest, who at this time was, I think they were in League Two. They got back up to League One. But Leicester came in what was it, 2012? The 2011, 2012 season.
Yep.
And pretty much paid for their club captain. Mind you, and this, I want to ask you this because maybe I'm just not thinking right, like on a transfer sense. But I would think like the club captain who's had over 400 appearances will go for more than $1 million. Like at least, 5, 6, but $1 million? That seems kind of low to me. What do you think?
Well, I think the position that Nottingham Forest was in is what kind of shows that that level and shows that price tag. You're kind of, it's like, for example, if you look, for example, in real estate, you can build a beautiful house in a crappy neighborhood. You're not really going to get a lot of money for that beautiful house because of comparable. At the end of the day, if you are at a League One or League Two team, no matter how good you are at a League One or League Two team. So there's a ceiling at how much your value is playing in a lower division. So
do you think if he was an attacking player, you think he would have gone for more?
First of all, yes, yeah. Yes, strikers, wingers always get paid more than center backs and goalkeepers. Their value is a lot higher because the value of a team comes from goals, and goal scoring is where they that's where basically that's where the money is. It's only today that we're getting these outrageous deals for goalkeepers and center backs that are valued to like Harry Maguire and Kepa, who are valued at outrageous prices. But A million seems a bit low to me, especially when you see where his future goes and where things go, especially with Leicester. But at the time, that's that's pretty normal.
Yeah, yeah, true. And I mean, so Wes Morgan, the player. Before we talk about his time in Leicester, let's talk about Wes Morgan, the player. Him as a player, oh, so he was silky smooth with the ball. He was no thrills to him, but he was efficient. He
Yeah,
was very efficient in what he did.
yeah. It's like what a lot of times, especially when you play pickup soccer, is that one thing is that his style of play is what you would call old man soccer. So old man soccer. I'm not I'm not gonna do a whole bunch of step overs and scissors and roulettes and all of that craziness. No, I'm gonna keep it simple. He wasn't gonna do any flicks or tricks, but he was gonna get the job done
Yeah,
and get the job done consistently.
yeah, that's very true. He wasn't that kind of person at all. So you ready to talk about his time at Leicester?
Let's do it.
All right. So he goes to Leicester once again, gets named club captain. I don't know what it is about black men and being center backs and being named club captain, but so far it seems that if you do it, you win a Premier League trophy and gets named one of the most memorable teams in history. It's not science, but it seems to be proven as fact at this point. Um, so through this as well, he also helps the team get promoted. We all know how that 2014-2015 season went. They were bad, but they pulled the escape. They stayed up.
Yeah.
2015-2016, he becomes only one of four players ever to play every single minute of the Premier League year in his history. Quick question for you, Shanir, because I do this every podcast because I want to make sure you really do your
Mhm.
research or not. Sometimes you don't, and sometimes you do. You get lucky sometimes. So let's see which of the three it is now. Who is the other player on that Leicester winning team to play every single minute of that title winning campaign outside of Wes Morgan?
Well, Schmeichel, definitely in goal. Um,
Darn it, you got it right. Yeah, it's Michael.
yeah, Schmeichel definitely played every single game. Huth almost did. Conte almost did. Um, Jamie Vardy almost did as well. But
Yeah,
I mean, between Wes and Casper, like those players, I mean, they were there the entire time. And I think even though Claudio Ranieri is was known as the Tinker Man, uh, he there was a structure to that
mm-hmm.
winning Leicester team. Um, there was a structure. Yet there are certain elements that were changed around and tweaked here and there all throughout the season. But you always had Jamie Vardy up top. Riyad Mahrez was always coming in from the right. N'Golo Kante was always destroying everything in the midfield. Wes Morgan was always leading the back line. And so with that stability, everything else kind of came in, Drinkwater was in and out, what was another player? Was Madison on that team?
No,
No,
Matters
there
was
wasn't Madison.
celebrations.
Who's that left back?
Oh, I know what you're
Fuchs.
talking about. His name is escaping me now.
Fuchs.
Futures?
There you go.
Oh, yeah, Fuchs. Who's at Charlotte FC right now?
Yes, he is. Yeah, so Fuchs was in and out on that left as a left back, but
yeah,
there was a stability there, and I think Wes Morgan was a key component. Of course, we speak about him in very very glowingly. In my opinion, the main component of this team was N'Golo Kante. but Wes Morgan was the anchor.
Yeah,
Wes Morgan was
yeah,
the
that's true.
anchor of this squad, and literally led from the back. He was an enforcer, a silent enforcer.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Just real quick, we don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but this 2015-16 Leicester team, it arguably is going to go down as one of the greatest teams in history because the 5,001 odds, all that stuff. But to you personally, how proud were you to see that? Because I mean, also you had Vincent Company. Got it. That was the one we forget from last episode. Vincent Company.
Yeah.
Because remember we were reeling off who? Yeah, Vincent Company. Duh. Um, there's a listener from last week that is now like, oh, he finally got it. um, but how how happy were you to see somebody from the West Indies that's proud to be from the West Indies in West Morgan win the Premier League trophy and be the captain of that team and also like the FA Cup win?
Oh, it was. I mean, after I got over the shock, uh, it felt really good, and not only that, not only did it feel good, especially okay, yes, the captain is captain, but when he was viewed as a true captain, um, by everyone on the squad, by the manager, uh, Claudio Ranieri actually described him as the perfect captain. There's a quote here that from Claudio Ranieri. He says, "Wes Morgan is Baloo from the Jungle Book." When I first heard that, I was like, "Wait a minute, hold on, time out."
Thank
But
you, thank you.
when
Because
he
yo, I swear I
elaborates,
was not. I was about to be like you, so you comparing him to a Black Bear. What's about Claudia? What you about to do here, dog?
he said he is a big gentle bear who looks after all the lads. He does not speak so much, but when he does speak, everyone listens. He is the perfect captain. I never knew anything about him before I came here, but I watched all the matches. I watched how solid, strong, and intelligent he was. And so this is coming from Claudio Ranieri.
Yeah,
And I mean, this is something that as a someone watching from, as they say, across the pond on the TV, I could see in him, just on the pitch. No footage of him of what happens outside of the soccer field, outside of the stadium. When you saw him on the field, he literally radiated this description
yeah,
that Claudio Ranieri gave. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it was something that was I looked at it and and even though a lot of times, especially with teams like this, you'll find a lot of change around, a lot of movement, a lot of rotation, and especially with Claudio Ranieri, who's known as the Tinkerman, you saw how even a seasoned center back like Huth look up to him. His center back partner Huth was you could see that Huth was like, "You're the boss. Tell me what to do." And you saw that interaction between him and the back line, the entire back line.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. So I think to perfectly sum up West Morgan as a person, because real quick, here's Jamaican career, because I'm about to forget about this, because
Hmm.
that Oxtail baby. Captain Jamaica in 2014 made his first debut in 2013. And the point that I was making earlier about like how a lot of sometimes players are waiting to get the call up for England to then, if they don't get it, they're like, I'll go to my second country or whatnot. I truly think Wes Morgan had it in his head. I think this is what's happening now with Jamaica is that it's okay to play for Jamaica. It's
Yeah,
okay to play for Curacao. It's okay to play for Martinique or other countries like that. Because I think before, like, you put all your money in on England, and then when the move doesn't happen, you're kind of just sitting there like just twiddling your thumbs.
yeah,
So I think it became okay, and I think Wes Morgan was a big component of why it became okay to play for Jamaica because Not only, I mean, granted, the team never gets to a World Cup, but I think like getting to a Gold Cup final, him being the captain of a Premier League winning team, and down the stretch, it also helped that he's in the Prem, things like that. It's just cool to see like someone of my nationality being the captain of this Premier League winning team. Yeah, so it's cool to see, and he's probably one of the gentlemen of of football. Also another cool thing that I figured out that I totally forgot. This man won an award for Football Manager, team of the. I think it was either Team of the Year or Team of the Decade. But for those who don't know, Football Manager is a really popular game where you can find like unused talent who grew up to be like super gems. And apparently Wes Morgan was one of those that they like. That's how he became on the team. I just thought that was cool to add it. But I'm gonna stop talking. Anything else with you, Shanir, before we close out this episode on Wes Morgan?
No, not really. You already touched a little bit on his style of play. He was not your typical smash mouth center back. He had that physicality, but he was smooth, man, on the ball. He was smooth, controlled, and he had a lot of composure. Yeah. I think he would have fit well on a Barcelona team with the composure he had in the back. You know what I mean?
Okay, now you're
with
bugging.
His distribution, because he's even though every once in a while every center back is gonna say, all right, just hit it long, hit it wide, get it out of here. Wes Morgan was always able to distribute the ball out of the back even under pressure. And I think that was something that was very key to Leicester's success in that title winning season. I can actually clearly remember one of the wonder goals they scored that season against Liverpool, where literally it's off a Liverpool corner kick. There was a scramble in the box. The ball comes to Wes Morgan, and instead of just booting the ball out of bounds or booting it up the field, he actually sends a long ball and finds Jamie Vardy, who literally lets the ball drop over his shoulder and one-time volleys it into the goal.
Shanir,
you don't find that with
how in the world did you manage to fit in a story when you said you didn't have a story?
Yeah, I know. Because
I always have a story, man. I always have a story.
I know, you're like goddamn grandpa. Oh, all right. Sorry.
But yeah, Wes Morgan, man. I mean, composure, leadership, class. Just class.
Yeah. All right, listeners, as always, we want to say thank you for taking the time out of our day for listening to our episodes and also Shanir's stories. That when he say he doesn't have a story, just prepare yourself for extra 5 minutes because Shanir has a story. As always, like I just said before, we want to thank you guys taking the time out of our day. Enjoy these episodes. We enjoy bringing these episodes. If you want to support the podcast, click the link down below to become a monthly subscriber to our podcast. It helps the show, helps us do research, helps us buy the equipment, all the things that go in behind the scenes to create these episodes for you guys. So we want to bring you guys the best available content. You can follow the show on Twitter at CIKIFC. And as always, this is Elliot.
This is Shanir.
We will holler at you guys later. Be safe and be easy.